Fake news? Is this fake?
I don't know.
You live there?
Well,
not to happen in your neighborhood?
Not every single story passes by me and I see it.
If you saw somebody in bikinis,
I would want
running down the street with, say, a TV.
I would certainly want to know a little bit more about that. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, Cade Horton beats Paul Skinner.
Yes, sir.
Dabo Swinney is fed up, and Buster only joins us for 5 good minutes. But we begin today with baseball from last night and 2 huge stars having extraordinary games. Cal Raleigh, the big dumper, hit home runs numbers 55 and 56, going past Mickey Mantle for the most home runs ever in a season by a switch hitter and tying Seattle's all-time one-season mark held by Ken Griffey Jr. And Shohei Ohtani hitting home run number 50 after pitching 5 innings of no-hit baseball against the Phillies. Wilbon, who had the bigger night?
This is going to be surprisingly easy for me. Ohtani. 5 innings of no-hit and going for the 50th home run. No, it's Ohtani. Look, I have respect for catchers and just what they do and wearing the tools of
56
ignorance
home runs
as it
by a
used
catcher?
to be called.
By a catcher?
And when you invoke the name Ken Griffey Jr. in Seattle, you got to bow your head.
Right.
But Ohtani went 5 no-hit innings and joined Ruth. Okay, that seems to me to trump everything. No-hit ball and Babe Ruth. And when you go 50, and by the way, they are there. By the way, is Judge or is Dumper going to be the AL MVP? It's got to be the Dumper.
You want me to go to that first?
Big Dumper.
Because I'll go to that first if you want, and I'll get it out of the way. I could not vote for anybody over Aaron Judge. It's an extraordinary year. He's leading the majors in batting. No, his OPS is huge. No. And look, all right, let me go back to this. Because the question is who had the bigger night.
Yeah.
And I hate the question because I can't tell you who. To me, it is a tie.
Yeah. Oh,
okay?
Really?
It is. It's a push for me. Okay, so Cal Raleigh, he doesn't just pass Mickey Mantle. He passes him in style by hitting home runs from both sides.
Each side.
Both sides of the plate. Okay,
he goes Mantle and Griffey.
Yes, that's what I want to say.
Great.
He passes Mantle, he ties Griffey. These are legendary players in the history of baseball.
Yes.
Here's a quote from Cal Raleigh that you'll like. My name shouldn't be in the same sentence with those guys, Mickey Mantle and Ken Griffey Jr. I don't really have words for it. And then, as you say, Shohei hits 50. This is 2 years in a row that Shohei has gone 50 or 50 plus.
Yeah.
There's only 5 guys in the history of baseball who have done that. Alex Rodriguez, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, we know about them. Ken Griffey Jr. and George Herman Ruth.
That's why you have Griffey. Okay. First of all, people don't even realize how great Griffey was to be in both those lists tonight that we're talking about this.
Yes.
But when you go Griffey, Ruth, and even if you allow for the asterisk, when you go Sosa, McGwire, A-Rod, that's why it's showing in 5 innings.
I just compared Cal Raleigh to Griffey and to Mantle.
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to do that with Shohei Ohtani. Of other people who have had 50 home runs and more than 50 strikeouts in the same season, there's nobody. There's nobody. So what we should be doing is not saying who had the bigger night. We should be luxuriating this. This is tremendous. Tremendous.
Now let's go back real quick. Your MVP in the AL is?
I got to say Aaron Judge, and am I wrong? Do you think I'm wrong?
There's no wrong.
Okay.
If I had a vote.
You'd vote for Raleigh?
I think so. Catcher.
Yeah, no, I know. 56 home runs.
Yeah.
You know, and the Mariners are a hot team. But Judge's output, his total offensive
time injured too.
And every time he's good, the Yankees win. And the reverse is true. We're not there to lose.
No, I didn't.
Oh, it's me again.
Yes, it is.
Let's stay with baseball here. In a matchup of 2 young, great pitchers, your boy Cade Horton of the Cubs beat Paul Skeens of the Pirates 4-1, getting 3 runs off Skeens, chasing him in the 4th. Horton went 5 innings, giving up 1 earned, striking out 6. He's now 11-4 with a 2.66 ERA. Skeens is now 10-10 with a 2.03 ERA. Wilbon, what does this game say about each pitcher?
They're great, but we chased Skeens after 3 2/3.
3
2/3. What did I tell you yesterday when we left the studio? What did I say on the air? I said Cade Horton's going to outperform Skeens, and I think that's only a matter. Skeens is probably the best pitcher in baseball, but
him or Skubal?
He or Skubal. Skeens, the Cubs are now working against him. When he's in your division, you've got to learn how to hit. You've got to learn how to take walks and make him throw pitches and get into pitch sequence. You've got to master all the subtleties. Craig Counsell, let me give him a a tip of the cap. People in Chicago critical of Craig Counsell.
Really?
Shut up. Anybody critical of Craig Counsell? Sylvie, he knows what I'm talking about. So I think he's done a hell of a job with Cade Horton. I would not start Cade Horton in the playoffs, 3 games against the Padres if we're lucky. I wouldn't. I put Shota Imanaga out there, and I would not put the pressure on the rookie. I'd have him pitch second at earliest.
So great that this has become a local show and you're shouting out to Sylvie and warning him that you're smarter than he is. This is another tough question for me because I tend to tune out when you talk about pitchers that you're touting, especially Cub pitchers, except for Ferguson Jenkins. So let me refer to my notes here.
Greg Maddux.
Greg Maddux, but most of his fame was in Atlanta. About a month ago, you were touting the Miz in Milwaukee, and I'm
just scared of him.
I believe at one point in the show you said you thought he was better than Skeens, and I don't think he is. Okay, but you can tout Horton because here are stats that are great. In his 11 starts since the All-Star game, his ERA is 0.93.
Yeah, I know.
He's 11-4 on the year. His ERA is 2.66. That's wonderful. He's going to be Rookie of the Year. I'm going to stay with Skeens, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I think 2.03 is better than 2.66. Because I think Skeens' 209 strikeouts is better than the 95 by Horton.
He's a strikeout pitcher.
But Horton has pitched more than half the amount of innings as Skeens, and Skeens has more than twice as many. But mostly because Skeens doesn't play for the Cubs. The Cubs are much better than the Pirates. The Pirates this year,
no support.
541 runs, lowest in the majors. The Cubs 735. Yes, Skeens is getting 3.35 runs per start, and your boy is getting 4.62. He's been great. He's been great. But Skeens last year as a rookie was even better, 11-3 and a 1.99.
You know what this rookie gives us a chance to do? He gives us a chance to
get a second series.
He gets us a chance in October. Even if I don't start him, I'm not putting him out there on the bump to start the playoffs. No. I got other Matthew Boyd. Even though he didn't do much today, he's an all-star. Let's move to college football, where Clemson coach Dabo Swinney has a message for his critics, his haters. Following Saturday's loss at Georgia Tech, Swinney told reporters Tuesday, quote, "If Clemson is tired of winning, they can send me on my way. But I'm going to go somewhere else and coach. Hell, I'm 55. I got a long way to go." And then he added, "If you don't believe in us because we've lost 2 games down to the last play and we're 1-2, you weren't all in anyway." Seems Dabo's feeling some heat, Tony. Should he be?
No, because he's been to 4 national championships and he's won 2. Because he's won 8 out of the last 10 in the ACC. Because since Saban is retired, who you got that's actually better than Dabo Swinney? Does he find himself on a hot seat? Billy Napier of Florida finds himself on a hot seat. Yeah, Dabo finds himself on a warm seat. It's not a hot seat. And the reason is because there's no sport that we follow that's like college football, where it's what have you done for me lately?
Yeah, people are crazy. The fan bases are nuts,
absolutely.
Let's say it.
Swinney was right in everything he said, but it was really whiny. I mean, and he looks sort of unhinged. And there are probably people in Clemson right now who are saying this to themselves. They're saying, you know what? Dabo doesn't really believe in a transfer portal. And Dabo's lost a lot more games lately than he used to lose. In fact, he's lost 14 games in the last 4 seasons, 16 if you count 1 and 2 this year. And there was a period of time from 2012 to 2029 seasons where he didn't lose that many games. So maybe the game has passed him by. That's being said. I don't know how publicly, but that's being said.
You know what? I'd hire Dabo in a heartbeat.
Who wouldn't?
By the way, Florida may hire Dabo in a heartbeat.
Exactly.
But you know what? It's probably just time. Probably time for Dabo to go on. This is not, John Robinson staying at, USC. This is not that. This is not Bear Bryant and Joe Paterno. This isn't. It's a different time. Dabo can go somewhere else, make a fan base really, 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 really excited for a long time.
Yes.
Probably win again, just like he said. But it doesn't need to be Clemson. And the people at Clemson can be stupid, like the people at Nebraska once were, and say, 9-3, 10-2, not good enough for us, and spend the next 15 years in the wilderness.
It reminds me of when Nick Saban used to give those rat poison speeches. And it reminds me of that because Dabo Swinney went to Alabama. You know the smartest thing he ever did? Because he could have had that job. He didn't want that job.
No,
let Kalen DeBoer suffer in that following Nick Saban.
Of that.
But you're right. He can go anywhere. How much money would Florida put up? Hundreds of millions of dollars to get the guy, right? He's a proven winner.
Look,
come on.
I am a college football booster.
take out a checkbook right now for Dabo.
We're all stupid and crazy, and we have expectations that are out of line and out of whack, and we want to fire people and we want to hire people.
All the time.
This sport, it's part
More
of what
than any
makes
other
it
sport.
exciting.
Yes,
right?
Let's take a break. Coming up, could the streaking Guardians catch the Red Sox for the third wild card in the American League? We're going to ask Buster Olney.
We'll also ask him whether we should expect the Mets to hold on to the same wild card.
Let's talk baseball with our great friend, ESPN senior writer and Sunday Night Baseball reporter, Buster Olney, who, as I've told you, Wilbon, has skills. He can make bagels, he can milk cows, and he can grow potatoes.
I can eat potatoes, eat bagels, and drink milk.
Okay, there
so
you
we
go.
got that in common.
So you're even. Let's start with this, Buster. The Mets have won their last two, but they've only a 1.5 game lead on Arizona for the third NL wild card. Do you believe in the Mets?
I believe, Tony, that they're going to make the playoffs, but not because of how they're playing, but because the teams chasing them, the Giants and the Diamondbacks, were sellers at the deadline. Look at the trajectory of the Mets. They make the National League Championship Series at the last season. They go out and spend $765 million on Juan Soto, and yet they are crawling toward the finish line in an era in which there's 6 teams in each league that make the playoffs. Since July 28th, the Mets are 16-29. Their starters have a 5.39 ERA. If they don't make the playoffs, it'll be the biggest collapse in the history of baseball.
Wow. Wow.
Man, that's a headline.
Wow.
Meanwhile, the Guardians, as you know, Buster, have won 5 straight and have crept within 2.5 of the Sox for the third AL wild card spot. Should the Red Sox be nervous at all?
Michael, absolutely, because they are a very different team since Roman Anthony got hurt. He suffered an oblique. In the 35 games before he got hurt, he hit .326. The Red Sox were 22-13. They're rolling along. Since he got hurt, they're 4-7. They're averaging only 3.8 runs per game. You look at the lineup, it's clear they need help. Roman Anthony meant so much to that team. I think it might be a struggle for them to make the playoffs. That's why when we saw Alex Cora, the Red Sox manager, over the weekend, he was saying, hey, let's not talk about October yet. Let's talk about making the playoffs.
All right, if we're going to stay with the injury talk for a second, we got to ask about Yordan Alvarez and his ankle sprain, which was so grisly to watch, and the impact that's going to have on the Astros in these next few weeks.
Yeah, it's absolutely devastating at a time when they're trying to win the American League West, trying to beat off the Seattle Mariners. Look, the Houston Astros have suffered more injuries than any contender in baseball, whether it was Yordan Alvarez for a lot of this year, Jeremy Pena for a long time. Justin Verlander told me this season that the Astros culture has enabled them to overcome some of these injuries. I don't know if they can do it without Yordan Alvarez. I will tell you this. Dusty Baker told me a few years ago, Yordan Alvarez's swing is so simple that if he comes back and he can actually get in the lineup as a DH, he has the ability to make a quick adjustment, a quick return, and he will hit if he comes back.
I'm going to go off book for a second on this because Wilbon didn't mention it, but we've got to mention it. The Cubs are going to make the playoffs, right? Cubs are clinched.
They made it.
Right?
Yeah,
They made
today.
it. They made it now. Is that how surprising is that to you, given where they were at the beginning of the season, or did you see this coming for the Cubs?
Oh, you totally saw it coming because of the fact this team is so good defensively and such a deep lineup with the additional Kyle Tucker. Now,